What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Joystick Ayrton. It's been a little bit over a year since the launch of the Lenovo Legion GO. Let's talk about this year in review. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us back here on the channel for a year in review of the Lenovo Legion GO. A lot has happened since this device launched. I've played with Allies, Ally X's, LC and OLED decks. I've played with Win 4s, Win Minis. We've got to play with a lot of different new and unique devices, and I think it really gives us an idea of where this device fits into the market. Our best and most popular video that we put out was about the Legion GO when it launched. I think we had like 60,000 views. I'm not going to lie to you. I think this is a fantastic device. I don't think I'm really biased. I just think in my use case scenario, it's phenomenal. So, and that might not be the same for you. So I try to put all of that together in this entire video, but we're going to talk where we started, where we're at, all the devices in between, and just look back at this year with the Legion GO. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is performance. And you can kind of cut these into two categories. You have all of your Z1 devices, you have your Intel devices, and I guess it's really three, then you have your Steam Deck. Those are the three that really compare to each other. The Z1 in the Ally and in the Legion GO, they're pretty much the same performance. The only big difference is the aspect ratio, 16:10 on the Legion GO, 16:9 on the ASUS devices. Now, with that being said, they perform better than the Steam Deck. They blow away the Intel architecture. Maybe some hope there for the Claw with the Battle Mage stuff coming down the pipe. But with that being said, we're not going to really dwell on performance too much, just because optimization on Steam Deck is so good, it brings it into the fight. Now, things as we move forward, Space Marine didn't play too well on there, but it plays really well on the Steam Deck. But then you have a little bit of compatibility issues with certain things. Call of Duty I can play on this, can't play it on the deck. So performance-wise, it's pretty much like it was over a year ago. You have your Z1 devices that perform fantastic, your 8840Us, your 7840Us, and then you have your Steam Deck. That compatibility layer really brings it up to par. And then MSI, that first gen set of Intel graphics for handhelds was a doozy. So with that being said, performance pretty much the same. The only up and downs are really updates for Legion Space, updates from Lenovo, updates from Windows making that go, but those have really stabilized here the last few months. So let's move on from performance. Okay, so the Legion GO with the detachable controllers, what I coined as RTS mode, a lot of people called FPS mode, is still one of the most unique features on the market. Nobody else is using it, which I think is fantastic. I think that's a big reason to go with the Legion GO. With that being said, you can always Bluetooth the controller to it. You could hook up a dongle to it. You could do a bunch of different things that way as well. I think that's awesome. Turning it into a tablet, awesome feature as well. If you need Windows for whatever reason, for me personally, when I was going through school, a Windows tablet was much more helpful than an Apple iPad or Apple device, just because everything for my school was designated for Windows. So that made a big difference for me. Just makes it a multi-purpose device. With that being said, I still think the biggest deal with this is the screen. And I'll just kind of go into that a little bit more. Some people are going to be all on board with this. Some people are going to be like, who really cares? But I think it opens up. So I absolutely love my Win Mini. This is probably my favorite device I've ever played with. Currently have a fan failure, so we'll talk more about that in another video. Stay tuned. But this has a 7-inch screen. It has smaller joysticks. They're more Switch style. So playing like Dark Souls 3, playing Remnant, playing Fallen Order, playing any third-person title, or sword game, hacker slasher, those are awesome. Excellent experience on it. But still sometimes I'm like, I can't really see that with the screen. First person shooters are almost unplayable with the sticks. It's really hard to do any online shooter with the screen size, and that's just not the case with the Legion GO. I can play Black Ops 6 with no issue whatsoever and be super competitive. I was playing hardcore earlier in the day on Nuketown. I went 63-9. Some people won't play a shooter on a handheld or on a controller in general. I understand. I'm not talking to you. You guys are superior to me. I love mouse and keyboard as well, but I love laying on the couch playing a competitive shooter in my hands right here. I think that's awesome. I can't do that on any other device. The Ally X, the Ally, the Steam Deck, the Claw, none of those small screens can do that for me. So not only do I get the awesome play of a multiplayer shooter, Halo Infinite, Black Ops 6, I also get that same feeling I do when I'm playing Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls Remaster, Elden Ring. It's an experience I can't get on any other device, and I've tried to get it. I've tried on the Win Mini, the MSI Claw, on the Ally on the Steam Deck. That screen size just makes a drastic difference when I'm playing FPS games. It could be Doom, Doom Eternal. It could be the Wolfenstein series. Any shooter is going to be better on the Legion Go, in my opinion. I love playing Dark Souls on the Win Mini. It's pretty damn good, or pretty close to that experience on the Legion Go. So it opens up games that you just can't play anywhere else, in my opinion. You're not going to play Apex Legends on a 7-inch screen. I think it's terrible. I can't see that guy. I can't be competitive. Almost a 9-inch screen, I can be. And then add on top of that RTS mode, in my opinion, but FPS mode, I can play Total War. I can play Civ. I can play a bunch of these real-time strategies or turn-based games that I couldn't play on another device. So I think that is fantastic, and I think that is the absolute best selling point that the Lenovo has with the Legion Go. And I'm curious to see where that goes with the Legion Go 2 and the Legion Go Lite. So with that being said, let's move on. Okay, so we talked about the unique parts of this device. We also talked about performance, pretty much being on par with everything else. Now we're going to talk about Legion space. We're going to talk about customer support, really, because of the impact that that has. And then we'll wrap this whole thing up. So let's start with customer service. That is my biggest complaint I will ever have with ASUS. I've had that experience several times. GPD. So albeit this is going to be in another video here shortly. Fan failure is what I'm pretty sure is going on. I think the bearing's gone out. Contact them. Super easy. What's your address? Here's a fan. Contacting ASUS, you could get the run around. Hey, I need $600 to be able to replace the bad fan inside. Oh no, we'll just link GN's videos down below. ASUS, no matter how much you change, I'm always going to have in the back of my head the experience that I had with extremely expensive ASUS motherboards and just everything that's happened to people in the past. So that's always going to be lingering in the back of my head no matter what. Hopefully that has improved. If you have an improved experience, let me know in the comment section down below, because that's awesome. Personally, never had a good one. With that being said, I've seen a bunch of good Legion ones having issues with Joy-Cons. Keep your Joy-Cons. We don't even need them. We're going to send you new ones. No questions asked. That is awesome. Great customer service here in the States. How that affects people outside of the U.S., I have no idea. Let me know your experience down below as well. Just, we're kind of boxed off in our own little worlds a lot of times, so we can't really see that. But I've seen a lot of good things about Lenovo customer support, and that's awesome. And if you're here in the States and you buy something from Best Buy or from Micro Center, you don't even have to deal with the manufacturer most of the time. You go straight through the retailer, and that's an extra added layer of security as well. So now let's move on. I think Lenovo customer service has been pretty awesome. Let's talk about Legion Space and the updates and things that they've been working on for the while and what we might see in the future. Okay, so the biggest complaint everybody had when the Legion Go came out was its half-baked software, Legion Space, and I completely agree. But I also am somebody who uses a GPD device that comes with no software. So do I really need it? Do I really need Armory Crate? Do I really need the MSI Center? You'll never get on any of these devices, unless Xbox puts out their own handheld, a experience that's like the Steam Deck. So if you're looking for a Steam Deck console-like experience, it's not going to happen on a Windows-based device. They'll get as close as they can, but until just Phil Spencer and Microsoft put one of these devices out there, it's not going to happen. But with that being said, Legion Space has come a long way, man, really, truly, compared to the beginning. So at the beginning, it was clunky. It was terrible. Things didn't work. The implementation of these top buttons being the Legion Space buttons was awful. Everybody hated it. Now you can change that. I personally like it. I've left that up there. I know I'm crazy and I'm in the 1%, but it doesn't bother me. But they've drastically made improvements to how Legion Space functions in every single aspect. Not only functionality is better, but just aesthetics in general, and how things work, and power profiles, and being able to change lighting and rumble and things of that nature, updating the controllers and the unit itself. Those have all drastically improved. I will let you know I'm not one of those people to spend a lot of time in Legion Space and Armory Crate and MSI Center. Basically, as long as the manufacturer's updates have all run and all my Windows updates have run, I might change the profile depending on the game. I might think, this shit's running a little hot, let me ramp that fan up. But for the most part, I try to set and forget, a lot like Russ does from Retro Game Corps, because I just want that console-like experience as best as I can, but I want the ability to play those Windows-based games that you can't on the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a phenomenal experience. I like the bigger screen, and I want to play Call of Duty. I want to play Apex. All those anti-cheat things and Sony things that are causing havoc on the Steam Deck, I don't even got to worry about it. And then when I am playing the majority of my Steam games, I'll just launch Steam Big Picture mode and call it a day. So incredible improvement by Lenovo. There's been ups and downs. Some things took so long to come out. You were like, Lenovo, are you even supporting this damn thing? So that was extremely frustrating for a lot of people, and I understand that. I get it. Especially when ASUS is just cranking out updates and improving things all across the board. You're like, did I pick the right device? I don't think Legion Space or Armored Crate should determine whether or not you pick the right device. I think, do you like the size of your screen? Do you like the ergonomics? Do you like the games you're playing? Do they give you joy when you grab that handheld? Then you pick the right device, regardless of what it is, even if it's an MSI Claw. So with that being said, let's move on because we have a lot to talk about on the future of the Legion GO and its successors. Okay, so this was a bit of an impromptu video. My Win Mini fan exploded. It's really unplayable with the situation it's in. So I was like, I need a handheld. And this thing was on sale at Best Buy for $549.99. I had a gift card. It just made sense. I didn't want another Ally. I've had so many duds. I was like, I know this thing's going to be fun. And being able to play Black Ops 6 competitively, the campaign crossing over from my PC to my Xbox to this seamlessly with no issues is a phenomenal experience. Being able to play those multiplayer games that I can't play on a 7-inch screen, it's been a really good time. I think the Legion GO 2 needs to improve on some things. I think you're going to have the Z2 Extreme, which is going to be in the future Ally devices, going to be in a bunch of those Windows handhelds. I don't think the performance thing's going to really change. I think we're kind of in that section where you don't pick a Legion or an Ally or a Windows-based device on the outright performance. Just because they're all so similar to each other. You pick it based on screen size. Do you want portrait or landscape? Do you like the Joy-Con idea? Do you not? Are you going to use this thing as a tablet? What are you going to do? What is it that you're trying to do? A lot of people wanting that console-like experience, going to the Steam Deck. I completely understand that. I think a Legion GO 2 needs to improve in some areas. We need to see more updates. We need to see them full through. We need just updates to drivers to not just take forever. Support seemed to just kind of disappear there for 4 or 5 months, and we were kind of like, this thing's dead in the water, and you're watching ASUS constantly update and make improvements, and post getting roasted by Gamers Nexus, really making improvements to their customer service as well. So we were just kind of like, hey, Lenovo, will you do something for the love of Christ? And they've started to do some things. I think the Legion GO 2, I don't want to see them divert from where they're at. I want to see different options for controllers, different, better, improved sticks, and things of that nature. But I love the bigger screen, and that leads me to a Legion GO Lite. What are they going to do with that? Are they going to make a smaller screen? What's the battery life going to be like? They're talking about having like a Z1 non-extreme in it, or like a Z2 non-extreme in that. What does that do for battery life, for performance, for cost? If you're talking $100 difference between a Legion GO Lite and a Legion GO 2, when a Legion GO Lite has like a Z1 non-extreme and the Legion GO 2 has a Legion 2 or Z2 extreme, it's brain dead. Why would you pick the GO Lite? Even if you like a slightly smaller device, you would pick, spend that extra $100, get an Ally X 2 or whatever's coming from ASUS instead of getting, a much inferior, slightly cheaper device. So there's a lot of things coming down the line for that. They're going to be kind of the first Windows-based handheld, at least here in the States, that are mainstream devices that aren't from like INEO or GPD, that give you two separate options. The Ally, even though you had two options, you had the Z1 to the Z1 Extreme, nothing else was different there. So it was just that performance difference, and most of the time the price to performance didn't make much sense. So with that being said, we have a lot of questions unanswered. What's going on with Zotac? What's MSI got coming down the line? They're going to have an 8.8-inch screen, or an 8-inch screen, I think it is. It's the MSI AI 8 Plus. Oh man, the AI buzzword kills me. But with that being said, I think it's a phenomenal device. Lenovo went from having a good device with really shoddy software to having a good device with pretty good software that gives you the option to play games you can't play on any other handheld device, whether that's RTS games, whether that's competitive FPS games, whether that's just playing, your third-person Souls-likes. It's a phenomenal experience. It has all the compatibility that the Ally and all the other Windows-based devices have. I personally think this is still the best handheld device that you can purchase, hands down, and everybody was wrong, and they're still wrong a year on. If you want a console-like experience, you want that compatibility with every game in your Steam profile, by all means, the Steam Deck and that OLED is amazing. I think it's the only thing that even gets close to the Legion Go, because I just don't think the Ally with that small screen, and I don't think the portrait to landscape makes that much of a difference in modern titles for it to matter. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.